Hello, with the recent patch we got the skill tree changes, and with that there came a lot of mixed up builds, if you want to say it like that. The builds are now more fixed, the skill tree is more fixed, so most of the time you're going to end up with the same builds on every victim, depending on their playstyle. Obviously you can still mix it up a little bit, but most of the time if you want to have specific perks or a specific playstyle, they will all now have the same perks, because there are only a small amount or a certain amount of good perks to take on every skill tree. But now you don't have to spend so much time respeccing. So you always will know where exactly you want to go, where you need to go. You can see all the perks in advance. And if you really want to try out a new playstyle, you are not punished because you don't need to spend 1 hour respecking again, or oh my god, I spent 1 hour respecking so I get all these perks, now I never want to respec again and try out something new. So in the end there can be still a lot of builds running around depending on how goofy the victims are, if they want to try out something new, if maybe the perks are getting changed in the future. But yeah, I would say now I do like the changes because both sides got kind of balanced. The most broken builds on both sides got changed, so there's no more hysterical strength, violent scout Leatherface, which was way too broken in my opinion. And then obviously on victim side you have the choose fight grappler combination gone, which was also very unfair in my opinion, because there was just no risk and only high extremely reward for no skill at all, just running at the family members, right? And then obviously we did have some winner and some loser when it just came to the straight up perks or skill tree. I would say one of the biggest loser was Danny, because he cannot have the most broken perks anymore in a game. So if you want to have fast hands now, you cannot combine that with Taekwondo or extra drip, so she's a little bit weaker when it comes to running extra trip, running fast hands, but you can still have the good perks like extra trip, but then you cannot have fast hands, right? So now you have to decide what you value. Do you value being a little bit more bullying while you taekwondo the family members? Do you want to have a little bit more sustain because of extra drip? Do you want to have the fast hands to unlock the doors faster in family house? So yeah, now you have to pick, and you cannot have it all together. But in the end I would still say Danny, because of his base stats. The base stats are just so amazing. His ability is still one of the most broken ability in the game. And yeah, some say because Hans is now in the game, Danny is useless. I would say the exact opposite. I would say now, okay, if the enemy team has a Hans, I do need to play a Danny now. And the family now is like, okay, the victims do have a Danny, so I need to play Hans now. I would say they both go with them other. So yeah, if you don't have a Danny, the family don't need a hand, and if the family don't have hands, you don't need Danny, right? So this is like, now they kind of balanced him. I do like the fact that Hans is now a Danny counter, because his ability, if they don't check the Wolf handle for 3 seconds, the game was straight up lost, which was very, very unfair in my opinion. But a lot of people forget that, yes, tempering fuse and pressure tank is very strong and it means solo play, but Danny, if you use it in a team, is still very strong. So if you push a side together, one is Connie, one is Danny, right? Connie pops ability on the last gate, Danny tempers the generator or the car battery, and the side is open in 3 seconds. That's something you need to have a team with, and is seriously nothing to underestimate. Also, Danny, you can do it yourself, right? You just need 7 more seconds, because now you have to unlock the gate yourself and then insert turn the car battery off. So overall, he can also still go for something else than pressure tank. And if they have a hands, you now need a strategy. So someone needs to pop the fuse the same time while you temper the pressure valve, or use temper the fuse without using your knowledge. Then you run to the pressure tank and then you temper it. So there are still ways to outplay hands. Also, the objects will stay tempered. So if you temper the fuse, it will still be tempered even though the fuse is out. So the next victim who does it, it still be tempered. And heads cannot obviously be everywhere at the same time. So now hence forces you to have a strategy, a teamwork, communication, which I really like, because playing victim was always a little bit, well, I don't care what my teammates are doing, I don't talk with them at all, I just do my thing and escape. And the family member, if they did that, they always lost. So now both sides are a little bit more on the communication side if they want to win. And that's why I really, really like it. And Danny, like I said, can be very useful in a lot of scenarios and is still very strong when it comes to perks and attribute points. So, and now we're going to talk about the attribute points. So toughness means how much HP you have, how much you recover from incapacitation, and how fast you will stand up on, yeah, just the base HP. So the new Bubba, in my opinion, which is the strongest if you still run Scout, he will deal 30 damage, or like the amount you have if you have 30 toughness. So if you have 30 toughness, Leatherface will hit you with an overhead and an M1, you will die. So you need technically 31 toughness to survive that, but obviously you're not going to be on exactly 100% HP. So having a little bit more there, I would say 35, 36, or a tiny little bit more, is very useful. Also 41 toughness is still a threshold. Most of the savagery on the family side go up until 40 toughness, and if you have more than 40, you also will survive a hit mortar if you're full HP. But overall, in general, just having higher HP, higher toughness, faster recovery time, you can tank more hits, you can play more aggressive, is very, very important. So going 41 toughness, I do like it a lot. And I'm running quite fine with it. You have one downside now: the more toughness you have, the more heal potions you will need to get back on HP. And like I said, if you want fast sense, you cannot have extra drips anymore. So then we have endurance. Endurance decides how much stamina you're using while you're using your dash action, and how fast it will recover once you're not running anymore, if you like just walk or standing still. So 30 tough endurance is always a very, very nice spot for me. So most of the time you do not really have stamina issues as well. The recovery rate is, in my opinion, still a little bit low, so you have to be careful. But as long as you are full stamina when you leave the basement, you should be fine. Also, you can obviously not just run randomly around the entire map, completely using up your stamina, and all of a sudden you run into a family member because of the death sentence. So yeah, always make sure to handle your stamina a bit. Don't go below 50 HP, just run a bit, wait until you're at 50 HP, then walk so it gets back. In the end, you will cover more distance, and you will never have problems. Especially he can now have jump start, so your dash action needs even less stamina. Then we have strength. Strength is, in my opinion, one of the useless stats in the game. The best thing I would say is how fast you can barge door if your Connie victim latched it, or if the family are playing a strategy where they're latching doors. But besides that, you can get off from the rope fast in the beginning of the game. And it also sets how fast you're going to win close encounters. I still say more toughness is more important than high strength if you want to win close encounter. Because if you're 60%, 70% HP, while you have 15 strength, you're going to win that. And if you're on 10% HP, while you have 50 strength, you're going to lose that. And obviously, the more toughness you have, the more hits you can take until you go below a threshold. Which means, yeah, high toughness, maximum amount of HP below a certain threshold point, way more important than high strength. So yeah, not very important. The only thing I would say you cannot do now is kick the Chen, but well, you're Danny, so you can still just temper it if you really want to escape through the Chen. And then we have proficiency. Proficiency is the most important stat for the victim, because everything you do needs proficiency. You unlock a basement door, proficiency. You unlock a cook gate, padlock, proficiency. You unlock an exit gate, proficiency. You want to turn the valve on, proficiency. You want to open the fuse box, proficiency. You want to get a tool or a bone without making noise because you're outside, you need proficiency. So cabinetry, yeah, everything you do in this game 90% of the time needs proficiency. So yeah, having a high amount here is, in my opinion, very nice. I would never go below 42, because then the game feels painful. And since you are now running fast hands, which means now every button tap you do is more efficient, so you get more points per button tap the higher your proficiency. and then you multiplied it again with 75%, so you will get even more value. So yeah, if you want to run a fast 750 proficiency, is just a no-brainer in my opinion. The combination is amazing, and it allows you to be a second Connie. So still on family house, I think having a Danny is one of the most important things, because fast hands always trigger, so he can get rid of cook padlocks or doors, open basement doors so fast with these combination. And yeah, without a Connie or a Danny, or yeah, none of them, right? The family house can be tricky. I would say Connie and Danny in family house is very strong, maybe needed if they have cook, hitch, and leatherface. So yeah, having high proficiency, I really like it. I love to have more points and toughness back in the days, but yeah, now since the OP broken Baba build is not possible anymore, it's not really needed. And yeah, now you don't have extra trip, so it's also harder to get back. And then we're going to have stealth. Stealth is, in my opinion, the most useless stat in the game. Probably even more useless than stealth, strength, because strength can at least help you kick the chen or barge a door. Stealth is just here if you go through a crawl space, if you go up a ladder, if you go over bubble breakable, your victim are going to make a noise. And that noise is reduced if you have high stealth. And for other thing that's needed is, if you open a toolbox or a bone or a crawl space and you don't want to make noise, you can tap it. So you can tap the action button key, and for every tap you get more than you get while you're holding it in the same amount of time, and stealth is good for that. So for example, if you have 50 stealth, you can go to a crawl space, just tap E for a little bit and the crawl space is open and you didn't make noise. But yeah, that's all it's really good for. And in the end, you can just tap and then hold, because that's what proficiency is for, right? This is for holding and this is for tapping. So in the end, I would rather spend a little bit more time getting my lockpick without making noise, or a little bit more time to open a crawl space without making noise if I really want to do that. But in the end, I just open the gates at a carpentry 10 times as fast. So yeah, that's all there has to be said about the attribute points. And now we're going to talk about the skill tree. So like I said, if you still want to have a good perks and you don't really care about the fast hands, you can go to the left side, because on the left you could go slippery if you wanted, you could go take one door if you want to bully a bit. You still do have a very strong perk like bomb squad in here if if you want to do fuse and there's a trap there, especially now hands, hitch and NC, you have bomb squad. So you can also have Ren track here on this side, which gives you even more stamina if you want to. You can go for the window play with stunt double. So yeah, his left side is very, very strong and not to underestimate. But I would say if I want to play Danny, it's most likely to temper stuff, because I want to outplay hands, or I want to picking on family house because of fast hands. And in the end, in general, being able to get rid of the lockpicks faster is probably better than jumping the window with bomb squad and stunt double. So yeah, we are kind of forced to go the middle way. The right way, in my opinion, is not the strongest, doesn't have the best perk, right? It has a good healing perk right here, and you can have... What was the other one? I think extra trip was over here. Oh no, it was tougher stuff, yeah. So like, not really important in my opinion, not really good. So yeah, we go middle, because in the middle you do have fast hands, and then the perk you have extra here is as well here is jumpstart. Oh yeah, if you go right, of course you can also go towards jumpstart. So there's this, but yeah. You now have fast hands and jumpstart, which are still, I might consider jumpstart is the best victim perk in the game. Fast hands is one of the best victim perks. When it comes to family house, it is the best perks. You still have very strong perks. The only thing you don't have is survivability, right? You cannot have take one door anymore, so if you are in chase, you can get out of clutch situations. You don't have extra trip anymore, so if you were somewhere, you get your health back. So this is the downside of the middle one. But there are still some useful perks, which I'm going to show you now. And yeah, now we're going to talk about the perks. So, like I said, in the skill tree, you want to have fast hands with high proficiency, especially on family house. Also, in general, grandpa can help you out, or if you want to exit a gate and a family member is coming, you can then use that to get the last little bit done. So in general, it's still a very, very strong perk. Then jumpstart, because now for every time you use your dash action, which is spacebar while you're holding shift on keyboard, you use less stamina, so you can even run more, right? You can most of the time run a lot of time, and which helps you to even maybe escape through the generator on car battery if you leave the front door and have full stamina. So yeah, very, very, very strong perk. Helpful in every situation. If you want to be efficient basement, it's helpful. If you want to be efficient upstairs, helpful. If you are in chase, helpful. If you need to make a clutch escape in the end with fuels, pressure, gen, whatever, very helpful. So yeah, best perk in the game. And then for the dirt, you can adjust it to your situation. So what I've been running lately is intuition. It's a beginner perk, and it's not to underestimate. Because whenever you pick up a fuse or a wolf, the location will be highlighted for 100 seconds. So you probably had some games where you picked up the fuse and you knew exactly where all the spawns are, and then you run across the map to look there, it's not there, you run across the map, you look there. By the time you got found, and then you go basement, you go back up, check the other one, it's not there, and then it's the last one you check. Which can be your dad, or you can just be very inefficient. So yeah, having intuition, you pick up the fuse and you can already see where it is. Also, you can, if you don't want to do fuse right now, you just pick it up, see where it is, then change it out with another item and leave the fuse where it is, and you know where it is, but you already know where the fuse box is. Same goes for Wolf. You pick up Wolf, you see where the pressure tank is, which allows you to be efficient. And also, like I said, the best way to outplay hands is to go to the fuse, open the fuse box, put it in and tamper it without using your knowledge. And then you instantly ran towards the pressure tank, to the pressure tank, and then insta tamper it with your knowledge, and then hands will not have enough time to ripstall both of them unless he used the cooldown one. So yeah, I do still think the hands ripstall cooldown needs to go up a little bit to make him a little bit more outplayable, but yeah, that's an option. So being super efficient and knowing all the way is very, very strong. So this is my recommendation if you want to be efficient, or also if you're still learning and you want to learn all the things, right? It's also still helpful. So yeah, not to underestimate. I really love this perk. As you see, I nearly got a level up. So yeah. The other one you can run if you say, okay, you often run into Leatherface, you can play I Know Engines, because this is like a wall hack for Leatherface. So yeah, every time Leatherface comes close to you, he will be highlighted, you have a wall hack, which means in the basement you will never be surprised. So if you happen to run, you get killed by Leatherface often in the basement because he catches you off guard. Or in general, your most fear is Leatherface, which, well, every player has his most fear for Leatherface. It's not a bad perk, it's information. Information is key, the same for this, right? Here it's efficient for you to rotate the map. Here it's efficient for you to escape Leatherface. So also a very strong perk, not to underestimate. But what I also started to like is Sanguine Shadows. I always hated on this perk because it sounds a little bit troll, but it always heals you up to 60% HP. And since you do have high toughness, 60% is not that bad. Yes, it takes a little bit longer because, well, you just need to hide in a locker, in a freezer, or in tall grass, or in a shadow. So, like, there are some things considered hiding spots where you have to be so your health starts regenerating. A very nice example, for example, is Abandoned Mill. So you play Abandoned Mill and you inside generator or car battery, and while you're looping or you just sit on the other side of the gap in a bush, you can just sit down and heal yourself back up until the family member runs all the way around. So that's like, you can also use it in chase. But yeah, if you drop down the well, you need to reset. For example, you dropped well, you're 5% HP. You would now need to consume 2 big health potions to get the same amount of healing that this perk gives you. It's slower, it's a little bit painful, but yeah, it can be clutch. And like I said, it's the only really good healing perk that Danny has at the moment. So if you want to be efficient with your health potions, do run Sanguine Shadows. It's very painful to level it up because on low level it only gives you 1 HP per second and only 30%. Here also only 1 HP, so you have to wait a long time, but on level 3 it's 2 HP. So it's okay. It still takes a while, but it is okay. Especially, like I said, if you jump down the well and you're low HP and you need to find a health potion and the closest ones are already picked up and now you bleed out, is very, very strong, right? Because now you can just instantly hide. There's always a locker, a dark spot somewhere, and get your health back. So you never will have problems with that. And also, if you're the last victim alive, you're constantly losing HP. And if you... I would not recommend that. I hate if the last victim is playing it slow when he's the last one, because it's no fun for family. That's the only thing that is no fun. So please don't do that. If your last victim try to rush one side, if you escape, then yes, you got it. If they will catch up, well, maybe reset the well, run to Grandpa, step in for points, and then die like a hero. So what I do is most of the time, if they catch me, I just let them kill me, but if I still need to level up stuff, I do well, then I ran to Grandpa, and I always say, yeah, I'm gonna die like a hero, at least I'm going to take the Grandpa with me. But yeah, if you, for some reason, are still new, you're not too experienced, you're still learning, you're playing it slow, it's also, if you're last victim, you can never really die. So this is like maybe a downside, right? Because now you could hide forever and force the family to level up Grandpa. Oh yeah, this is not to underestimate at the moment his best healing perk. So yeah, this is what I would go, depending on what you're lacking on your games. You can test it out, right? You can go this, for example, in the beginning. You realize you never find health potions, you often lose because you're low HP. Then switch to this, and now you realize, well, my problem was not the health. My problem was, okay, always Baba found me, so that's why I was low HP. Now you can go this, right? So this is the recommendation I would go for. I would not change anything. The attribute points like this is perfect. And yeah, Danny is still very, very strong. And now we are going to talk about his ability. And as always, we're going to start in the top. So over here is, well, when you're tampering with objects, it's highlighted, so your teammates are going to know that you're about to tamper something. Useless. Use comms. Even if you're not using communication, it's not really useful because the victims cannot often tell you where exactly you're standing if you don't know the fuse is there, right? So yeah, even use comms or... yeah, it's just not good at all. Very useless. The same goes for this one. So if the objects you can study then temper, they are like highlighted, right? So, well, also not very useful. Even if you're a beginner, I would say this is very, very bad. Like, your objects you can study are always highlighted, and if you use the perk I showed you, the objects will be highlighted if you have it in your hand what you need, right? So super useless, and then it only stays for the left one, which is also, in my opinion, the most broken one, because it is never really efficient in the beginning to study a toolbox or a lamp or whatever, because it takes so much time and it gives you no knowledge. But with the Insta Study, you can just walk next to objective, just tap the right mouse button on the mouse and keyboard, or your ability button, I think it's L something on controller. You instantaneously get your knowledge. So yeah, it's just super efficient. Also, for example, if you're in the middle of the map on Nancy's house, you're getting chased, and you just ran next to the generator, you can study it while you're in chase, because you just instantaneously do it, right? So very, very strong. And now we are going to be fixed and locked into the two left ones here, right? So since you're always going to take this one, taking less time to study objects is useless. So, well, then we are kind of forced to the middle, which is, it happens also to be the best, right? Because the knowledge you gain is 60%. And you do need 75%, in my opinion, or a little bit more, to insta-tamper an object. So yeah, the more the knowledge you gain from objective, the better. And also, if you say you want to outplay hands, but you still want to use your knowledge on both because you don't have time or the family is protecting it well, you can first of all tamper one objective, then reset, get the other knowledge, go to the other, tamper it, and then after you've done that, you can put the other one in and do it in a row, right? So there's a lot of reason why you want to have that. And yeah, since now these two don't stack as well, you go to the right, because now you need 6% left to do the tampering minigame, which helps. So now you can do it with like 75-80% knowledge and then instant tamper an objective. Now, in case you don't know what tamper is in general, tamper means that the family member cannot turn it off. So for example, it's best is on pressure valve or on fuse, right? So you tamper the pressure valve, and then the family member cannot turn it off until it opens. The same goes for fuse. You tamper it and it stays open until it closes. Same. Car battery generator, well, it stays off longer, and you instantaneously do it. So you don't have to turn the valve handle on or do the fuse puzzle or kick the gen or the car. You go there, instead of doing your action, you do your tamper, and then it's done. So yeah, this is all there has to be said about Danny, about his skill tree, about his ability. And yeah, this is it. This is the newest video. I hope you liked it, hope you enjoyed, hope you're gonna have some very good games in the future. In case you did, make sure to leave a like, and as always, if you feel super nice, make sure to comment in the video below or subscribe to my channel in case you didn't already. Thanks for watching and good luck in your next games. Bye bye.